Hello everyone. In this short video, I'm going to demonstrate how Kyligence is empowering power users, Excel users to do interactive query against large data sets, billions of records coming from data lake, your cloud storage, or your large relational MPP database solutions. In the past, for a power user to do that, they have to extract portions of the data as a CSV. They have to keep that information in a local storage or maybe create smaller data marts, requires IT users to create a temporary solution for them. But with Kyligence, we are enabling them to look into the data much more interactively without the hassle of creating a different layer. So let's see how the whole thing is working. So here I have an Excel spreadsheet open, and this is connected to our Kyligence backend semantic layer, and then through the semantic layer into our Kyligence engine. And I'm looking at a 60 billion rows here. And with this row, I can add more measures here. I can add the total quantity and total revenue. And this is coming within a click of a second from our backend engine. And with that, I can add more hierarchies, which I have created as part of my semantic layer, and hierarchies within hierarchies. And I can expand on those hierarchies here seamlessly, and the results come within a fraction of a second from our backend engine. No information is cached. You do not have to create a separate layer to extract this information. All those billion rows are coming from our backend engine in a fraction of a second. So let's see how the whole uh, thing is being rendered from our backend engine. In our Kyligence backend engine, Kyligence Enterprise, this query history actually shows the data coming in from your Excel converted to a SQL, and that is being executed here, and the response time is less than a second, and it's being answered by something called the Kyligence model. And this model is nothing but our proprietary OLAP cube structure. It is distributed OLAP cube, which is working on a billions of records. And within that cube itself, we have created different layers of aggregation, different types of indexing, which is enabling the power users to look into the data interactively without creating another layer or extraction, and directly connecting to the data lake. So let's see how the model actually works here. So here we have a model, SSB uh, data with KY model 1000. And this model is actually based on various indexes which are actually replying to the data here. And these indexes are based on cuboids or smaller aggregation groups. And these aggregation groups are available as part of the query engine to look into and then extract that information and provide the end user. So let's see how the whole thing is accelerated in a fraction of a second, and then how we can create those hierarchies very easily within our semantic layer. This is our Kyligence Enterprise engine, and here we have something called query acceleration. Anytime we run queries in our BI tool or Excel or any other technology, those queries come through the enterprise tool, and those get trapped as part of your acceleration layer. Some of them have been already accelerated, so it will sit on the not accelerated layer, but queries which are new will sit on this waiting list, and this waiting list will get executed every 5 minutes or depending on the threshold you define, and it will get accelerated. Once it gets accelerated, it will sit on this accelerated layer, and it will update those indexes which I have shown previously, and it will either modify that index or add that index. And here is one example of what it actually wants to do, and we haven't executed that. So here it is actually asking that, okay, there are 125 indexes and we need to add those indexes, we need to rebuild them, and the action is adding those indexes. And if I can expand on this, it will come and show me what kind of attributes this index contains. So every time you run a query, interactively, the AI engine is capturing those attributes, and then it is actually building this recommendation for the cube in order to get the best, give the best performance to the end user. So how does everything work through the semantic layer? How we can create those hierarchies? So Kyligence has two kinds of semantic layer. One is SQL, one is MDX. And within this MDX layer, we can create something called our MDX semantic models. And if I click on here and I have this interactive model already created, which I dragged and dropped, I can actually come here and you can see I have created business definitions for this. Not only that, I have created those hierarchies. And then if I come here within the date, I have also created hierarchies. And it is pretty easy to build those hierarchies with a click of a button here. And I have also created something called calculated measures. These are complicated MDX functions. And these functions actually work seamlessly, and it will return those results back to my BI engine or my data downstream data set. Now coming back to the Excel, I have all this data available and this hierarchies and which I have defined earlier, and I can pretty quickly look into more attributes, and I can click on total profit, and it will come within a fraction of a second, and it will get added here, and I can add more calculated measures which I've created as part of our MDX calculation.